The solutions compare very favorably with the ground situation here, calling for a 26.25 feet per second forward burn, and that is what Young is executing. 6 minutes, 53 seconds. Minutes. 7 minutes, 20 seconds. Mike Collins, in jest, suggested we conclude this simulation and proceed with the debriefing, which normally follows that type of activity. This, of course, is no simulation. 7 minutes, 35 seconds into the flight, and from all appearances, we have achieved, we certainly achieved an 87-mile perigee. Flight dynamics just confirms, without passing on any numbers, that all of his values look good. Minutes into the flight. The flight director is now querying the flight dynamics officer, asking him for any peculiarities of the cutoff conditions. Flight dynamics says it may have been that he was perhaps 5 feet per second low on his cutoff, well within tolerances, however. Have now the conversation of the tape conversation during the liftoff phase. It's minimal conversation compared to past Gemini flights, most of it coming from Young. I hear a comment or two from Collins. If the tape is ready, we're checking now. It is ready. We'll roll that tape for you now.
6. Both spacecraft now, well, the spacecraft and the target are both in orbit. It could hardly have gone more smoothly than it did. They both left on time. They both achieved what they call here a nominal, which is to say as planned, state. And so far, the Gemini 10 mission is perfectly successful. There's a great deal to be done. They have enough work to do in the next 3 days, it seems to me, to keep 5 or 6 people busy on the ground and with plenty of room to move around. Collins has to open the hatch in space, open the hatch, stand up in it, like somebody standing up in a convertible automobile, almost, taking pictures of various places. They were asked today if he planned to take any over Russia, and they said no, they didn't have any particular interest in that. That was too far north anyway. Then they planned to dock with the Target 10, which was put up this afternoon, literally to join it. The difference between docking and rendezvousing, I suppose, has been explained many times, but you may have missed it. To rendezvous with a target in space is to come close to it, to the point where you are effectively in contact with it, but not touching it. To dock is to physically join, which is what they intend to do with Gemini 10, Target 10. Then later they plan to rendezvous with Target 8. Frank?
Just thinking, David, that we have 3 objects and 2 men up there now, all whirling around. None of them really very far away from Earth in terms of travel to the moon or other planets or maybe someday stars. But certainly it's an exciting idea to think that we have one target about 216 miles above the Earth, another one about 161 miles above the Earth, and then the third object with 2 men inside in an orbit that goes from 87 to 146 miles above the Earth. And all of it done with the 2 launchings today, lifted off at precisely calculated moments that would place all 3 of them into predetermined positions and relationships with each other so that everything they plan to do for the remainder of the flight should work out well, for which all the mathematics has been done and for which the maneuvers have been computed. So far, everything has gone swimmingly. We'll return after this message from Gulf. 10, tell it goodbye forever. And then on the third day, they will rendezvous with number 8. The Huntley-Brinkley report will follow almost immediately on these stations, and we'll be back on the air at 11:30 Eastern Daylight Time tonight to bring you a progress report on the flight of Gemini 10 and tell you what has happened between now and then and what is happening at that time. Until 11:30 this evening, then, for Chet Huntley and David Brinkley, Peter Hackett, Dr. Frank Field, and all the other NBC newsmen, we thank you.
This special NBC News report has been brought to you by the Gulf Oil Corporation, producers of more and better energy from oil.
This program was produced by NBC News, which is solely responsible for its content.